First off, I want to express the condolences of the U.S. House of Representatives to the Belgian people. I know we're all watching this right now, and this scene is just so horrific. 1 minute, people are going about their day. The next minute, people are running for their lives. This is a terrorist attack in the heart of Europe. As our countries have always done, we must confront this threat together. We must defend democracy and defeat terror. Our prayers are with Brussels, as is our solidarity. Thank you.
I want to associate myself with the speaker's comments. One thing we have learned, that these terrorist groups, ISIS and Al-Qaeda, know no boundaries, know no borders, and our way to stop them is to defeat them. Now, after the Paris attacks, the speaker asked that we put a task force together. And many of you know we talked about it as the Chairman's Task Force on Counterterrorism and Homeland Security. We have passed a number of bills, some have becoming law, Visa Waiver Program and others, but I want to highlight just two. One that was passed last night with Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin's bill, the Counterterrorism Screening and Assistance Act, passed 371 to 2. The legislation requires that the Department of State and Homeland Security to produce an annual scorecard assessing the border security efforts of countries around the world. It would give us a scorecard to know those places that need greater security. Another bill that will be coming up tomorrow is it's authored by Mr. Katko. It's the Safe Gates Act, which will require a comprehensive security assessment of overseas airport security and seeks to enhance security cooperation between DHS and foreign partners. There'll be continual bills you'll find on this floor from the task force to move forward, not only to make America more secure, but the world as well.
My heart breaks with the news coming out of Brussels this morning. It's yet another unspeakable act against innocent civilians. Certainly our world grows more complex. The enemies that we face are becoming more radical than ever. The groups that seek to destroy us thrive on chaos. We're not talking about lone wolves. These are fighters that are now embedded into Europe. What they lack in standing armies, they make up for in ruthless and indiscriminate violence against innocent life. Moms and dads, sons and daughters. They want to see a world that is fractured, frightened, and divided. But one thing is for certain. When confronted with cowardly, irrational terrorists, those who cherish freedom stand together. Here in America, these attacks are a reminder to us to be constantly vigilant. Our most important role, our number one priority, is the safety and security of this country. But we're also reminded just how desperate the rest of the world is for true leadership and a true commitment to destroying the groups that seek to harm the innocent.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, along with my colleagues, my heart goes out today to those affected by this senseless act of terror in Brussels. We should all keep those individuals, their families, that community, the country in our thoughts and prayers. But I'm afraid these random acts of terrorism will not end anytime soon. I believe the time has come for President Obama to create a complete and thorough strategy to defeat ISIS, a plan that will give our military leaders and soldiers the tools that they need to destroy ISIS once and for all. We must confront radical Islamic terrorism head-on, reversing the tide of terrorism swelling around the world. We must demonstrate that the United States, the greatest country in the world, will not stand for these senseless acts of terrorism any longer.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. Questions?
Donald Trump said this morning on Today's Show that there should be more enhanced interrogation techniques, specifically waterboarding. Also said the U.S. should close up our borders till we figure out what's going on. You think that's a smart strategy?
Yeah, I'm not going to take the bait this morning. Wong.
Mr. Speaker, have you been briefed by national security officials on the Brussels attack, and is there any sort of credible threat to the Capitol or to Washington?
No, I have received updates. It's still unfolding. We do not have all of the information at hand right now, but we have reached out to the intelligence community, and I have received some updates this morning, and I have absolutely no reason to believe that there's a threat here.
Yesterday, Elizabeth Warren said that Donald Trump is authoritarian. Prior to that, Mexican president said he's a fascist. You've talked with him, you've dealt with him. What do you think of those?
I don't see it that way.
There are increasing concerns among some Republicans that the way that this race is going could actually flip control.
It's going to be all presidential this time, isn't it? Yeah.
The House that's concerned about flipping control
Oh, okay.
of the House.
That's.
Are you at all concerned?
No, I'm really not. I'm not concerned about the House flipping because we are in control of our own actions. And that means we're putting together an agenda to take to the country to show what we need to do to get this country back on the right track. We are doing exactly what people sent us here to do, which is roll up our sleeves, get to work, take the principles that we believe in, that we campaigned on, that created this beautiful country in the first place, apply them to the problems of the day, and offer the people of this country real solutions that fix problems in their lives so that the people of this country have a real choice in 2016. That is what we control. That is what the House can produce. That's what the House is going to produce. And because of that, we are confident about our future here in the House.
Given the attacks today, do you think the United States' relationship with NATO countries needs to change, either more engaged or less engaged?
Well, look, NATO is, we are NATO. So I don't know if we are a part of NATO. I think, I didn't see the speech that Mr. Trump gave yesterday, so I assume that's walking me in that direction, but I didn't actually see what he said, so I'm just not going to go farther down that.
Mr. Speaker, the budget is yet to move to the floor, but you're moving forward on appropriations bills for supplemental markup tomorrow. Do you plan on moving bills through committee into the floor even if you don't get a budget?
So the appropriators are sticking with their already predetermined schedule in their committee level. We had another family discussion today about how to proceed with respect to the budget. We gave the appropriators deadlines for floor consideration, accommodating our budget goals, which is mid-April, which is the law. We're still proceeding on that plan, hopefully getting a budget, but we're having that family conversation. But what we did not want to do is slow the appropriators down for the spade work that they have to do at the committee level. But right now, we're still having that family conversation with our members about how to proceed with the budget.
Moving appropriations bills to the floor.
No, we need to do a budget. Did it? Wong, you want to do another round?
I was just wondering if given where Trump is currently in the presidential standings, is it time for John Kasich to drop out, given that he has no
You really think I'm going to answer these questions? I mean, good grief.
given that he has no shot
Look,
at winning
look.
electorally?
My job is, as a conservative, to speak out what I believe in at the time, to defend our principles, but as the speaker and therefore the chairman of the convention, to be dispassionate, to call balls and strikes. And I'm not going to weigh in on these things. Look, every now and then when I see something where conservatism is being disfigured, whether it's from anybody, by the way, not just one person, anybody, I'm going to speak out in defense of conservatism. But as the chair of the convention, I'm going to be dispassionate. Rules are rules. I'm going to stick with the rules, and I'm not going to comment on all these up and down, go this way, that way, who's up, who's down. I'm not going to comment on that stuff. Do you have a non-presidential question? You don't, do you? Good grief. All right, back there. Yeah.
On the budget question, so if the Appropriations Committee is going to write to the 1070 number, how do you get those out of committee, and how do you get...
That's why we're still... I don't know the answer to that question yet. We're still trying to have a family conversation with our members about how to proceed on the budget. Look, we want to do a budget that's very clear. The question is, do we have the votes to pass a budget? And that's the conversation we're having with our members. But the appropriators aren't going to wait around and then be caught flat-footed without their work done. So the appropriators are getting their work done, getting ready to bring bills to the floor. Are we able to pass a budget?
When do you have to make a decision on whether to, when is your
You know, I don't know the answer to that. April 15th is the statutory deadline for a budget resolution. We lost July because of the conventions for all practical purposes, so we have a shorter appropriations window. That is why we started this process earlier. The kinds of family conversations we're having right now are the kinds of family conversations we usually have in the beginning of April. So we're having them now in March instead of April, given the fact that our calendar is constrained.
So do you think you're talking about like mid-April to make
I don't know the answer to that.
or mid-May?
That's something our team's going to decide. Andy.
What are you going to do with the president's request to combat CCA?
Well, I would refer you to our appropriators, who tell us that there is plenty of money in the pipeline right now money that is not going to Ebola, that was already in the pipeline, that can go immediately to Zika. So that money can be reprogrammed. So I would just refer you to the Appropriations Committee for more details on that.
Ryan, what do you think of the president's trip to Cuba?
Not much. I think it's fairly ironic. We had the APAC conference yesterday, where we were talking about standing up with our allies, fighting for freedom, standing up for national security, and the president takes a trip to Cuba, where he effectively gets nothing in return, and he legitimizes a tyrannical dictatorship. The irony was not lost on me. Deirdre.
Given what's happening in the attacks in Brussels, do you think the president should cut his trip short to Cuba? Is it appropriate for him to be there?
I won't comment on that. I haven't given any thought to that question.
On your agenda project, can you give us an update on where things stand and whether that needs to come out sooner rather than later?
Everybody says that. No, we're on track. We wanted to have a vibrant listening period where we are listening to our members, listening to constituents, listening to interested people from around the country. Our members are going to go home and do town hall meetings, talking with their constituents. So we're in the information and listening stage of our agenda project. Coming back from recess, we're going to go into the drafting stage of our agenda project, where we're going to start putting pen to paper so that late spring we are in the rollout stage. So we are exactly where we had planned on being, and we want to make sure that we get it right, and we want to make sure that we listen to our constituents. So a 2-week recess period where we're going to do a district work period is the opportunity that many of our members will have to use to go listen to their constituents and talk to them about this agenda project. So we're basically on track with where we are, and we're not changing our timeline.
Will there need to be approval from the conference as a whole before you release it?
Our working groups are going to be putting it together.
Is the House on track with regard to Puerto Rico legislation?
Yeah, we are. We're going to, obviously we're going to be doing it after we come back from the district work period. But the Resources Committee is doing a very good job working on this issue. They're on track. They're off about a week because we have the Easter recess. But what's that?
Doing a bipartisan
Yeah,
today too.
and we're doing a bipartisan meeting today, and we are working on a bipartisan basis on this. And we expect when they come back from the district work period to be acting on it at the Resource Committee.
Are you taking any other members with you to Israel?
Yeah, I'm taking a large group of members.